Hello friends, and thank you for joining me today. When you meet me in this kneeling position at the base of your mat, I want you to begin to breathe deeply, feeling the inhales and exhales. On your next inhale, draw your hands to the sky, gaze to the sky, taking an upward salute. And on your next exhale, folding into a deep child's pose, reaching those fingertips long, opening the shoulder blades, elongating the spine, forehead to the mat. You can also bring your arms down beside your body, taking an easier variation of this child's pose. Just breathe deeply into that spine. Feel your breath wash over you like waves in the ocean, feeling each sensation that comes with breath, the movement of your chest and abdomen, the sensations around your nose and mouth. On your next inhale, place your forearms to the mat and slowly slide your body forward, coming into kneeling chaturanga, and exhale, push up into cobra, keeping a slight bend in the arms, opening your lower back. On your next inhale, pushing back into child's pose. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, begin to shift forward, dropping the hips to the mat. Exhale, cobra pose, opening your chest to the sky. Inhale, shift your hips back. Exhale, rest them on the heels, child's pose. Doing this 2 more times. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, cobra. Inhale, shift back, and exhale, releasing cobra pose. One last time. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, cobra pose. This time we're going to remain in our cobra pose, feeling that deep release in the lower back in your hips. Gazes ahead, opening the heart center. Feel free to just warm up the spine or take some shoulder rolls, just whatever feels amazing to you. Maybe taking some neck rolls. Inhale, shifting your head back. Exhale, drawing the chin towards the chest, feeling that release in the nape of the neck. Just gently find mobility in the upper body, releasing tension in areas you feel pain. Just a few more seconds holding this cobra. And then slowly lower your chest towards the mat, preparing for locust pose. Interlace your fingers behind your back, straightening out the arms. And on your next inhale, lift your chest up off the mat, gazes ahead. You can lift your legs too, or just tuck the toes under. Staying here for a few more seconds, gently breathing into that spine. And lower the chest, releasing the hands to the mat. Pushing back up into our cobra pose, exhale. Hold here for a second. Tucking the toes under, inhale. Then exhale, pushing the tail to the sky, downward facing dog. Allowing the abdomen to be drawn towards the thighs. Maybe walking out the dog here. We're next going to take a few spinal waves, so when you're ready, shift your weight forward, inhale, then exhale, bend the legs and press the upper body back towards the legs. Inhale, straighten up the legs, downward facing dog. Just finding that beautiful mobility in the spine and the shoulders. Inhale, shift forward, exhale, push your body back. Finding that deep release. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky and slowly exhale as you shift forward into pigeon pose. Make sure your hips are square to the top of the mat. Focus on that deep hip and inner thigh opening. You can come onto your forearms or even rest your forehead on the mat. Just finding that deep release in the hips. Come back up to a neutral position with the spine, and when you're ready, join your hands together in a prayer position. Draw the left elbow over to the right knee, twisting out the spine, keeping that prayer position with the hands. Right elbow pointing towards the sky, gaze is behind you. Hold here for a second. And coming back to center, placing your hands to the mat. Coming into an upright position, we're going to draw the left heel towards the left glute, reaching behind for that ankle with our right arm, taking a king pigeon, focusing on that deep quad stretch and psoas stretch. Exhale and go deeper in this pose, finding that release. And release the foot to the mat. Place both hands firmly onto the mat in front of you, tuck your back toes under, and slowly shift up into a plank position, stepping your right foot to the outside of the mat. Allow that left knee to settle to the floor, allowing our hips here to sink towards the mat. You can push that right knee away from the body, opening the chest to the sky, or maybe just focus on that hip opening coming onto your forearms, or even your forehead to the mat. Again, breathing deeply into that hip stretch. Noticing how on each exhale you can go deeper, feeling that release. Slowly walk your toes so that they face towards me, and rest on your left forearm, maybe coming up onto your left hand for a deeper stretch in the inner thigh and hip. You can pull that knee in towards the chest, gaze towards the left foot, or to go deeper here, place pressure onto that left hand and lift your hips to the sky. Reaching that right arm over your head, gaze to the sky, using our core strength. Placing that hand back down to the mat and stepping into plank. Exhale, shift your tail to the sky, downward facing dog, opening up the hamstrings. Then lift that left leg to the sky and shift the weight forward, coming into our pigeon pose on the other side. Again, you can stay on your hands here, gazes ahead, or you can come onto your forearms, or even draw your forehead to the mat. Just focus on keeping those hips square, making sure you're feeling that deep opening. Come back into a neutral position with the spine. Place your hands together in a prayer position and join your right elbow to your left knee. Gazes behind you, twisting out the spine here. And place your hands back down to the mat. When you're ready, slowly draw that right heel towards the glute, placing your hand around the ankle, opening that quad, feeling that deep release in the psoas muscle. Exhale as you go deeper in this pose. Find that release. And release the foot. Place both hands to the mat in front of you and make your way into that lizard pose, allowing that right knee to come to the mat, hips sinking towards the floor, Again, you can push that left knee away from the body, opening your chest to the sky, throwing your head back. Or you can come onto the forearms, or even onto your forehead, just focusing on that deep release in the hips and inner thigh. Slowly allow that right hip to come to the mat and shift your toes so that they point in the opposite direction. You can come onto that right hand or stay on the right forearm, pulling that left knee into the chest, or maybe shifting your hips to the sky, feeling that deep release in the hips, the IT band, and finding strength in the core. Gaze to the sky here. Place both hands to the mat and step your left foot into plank pose. Exhale, allow your hips to come to the mat. Cobra pose, opening that chest to the sky. And when you're ready, coming onto your forearms into Sphinx pose. Again, this is amazing for the lower back. Draw the right heel towards the glute, clasping your big toe, opening the quad here, maybe drawing your forehead to the mat. Exhale and go deeper. And release that foot, this time drawing the left foot towards the glute, pulling the heel down, opening up the quad, again breathing deeply here. Release that foot and place your hands to the mat, coming back up into Cobra. Then when you're ready, exhale and shift those hips towards your heels, settling back into Child's Pose, holding here for a few moments before we end the practice. Slowly walk your hands towards your body, coming back into our kneeling position. When you're ready, join your hands in a prayer position over your heart and join me in saying Namaste to end the practice.